Testing. Okay, audio good. Let's move my camera. Let me pop out chat. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for our favorite Caroline Leavitt White House press briefing. Hey, what's going on, Semper? You gotta watch my streams at work. It's the best place. Let me pull up my cal sheet for this. All right, guys. Caroline Leavitt's gonna be speaking any minute now. What's up, Logan? What will she say in her next press briefing? Yeah, you gotta be unemployed like us. No, that's terrible advice. Terrible advice. But we got some plays here. I am riding going into this. I mean, I have a sprinkle on no tariff. That's not going to hold. But I have a sprinkle on no illegal alien. Maybe there's a chance there. The big ones I like, though, guys, are no Portland. I got in decent size here, 29 cents. Oh, Supercharger? Dude, is that dream dead, by the way? Is the Supercharger dream dead? Is there no world now? Is that already... They resolved that? Let's see. Seems like Supercharger's dead. Is it under pending yet? Did they already close it? Ah, Supercharger is dead. But I'm riding Portland, no. I think on Portland, no. This has been a big talking point for Caroline Leavitt, right? You guys got to realize she hasn't done a speech since like October 5th. It's been almost 3 weeks. Let me pull up my transcripts too. So she hasn't spoken since October 5th. There's been a ton of stuff happening, guys. I mean, just think about everything she has to cover, okay? The whole Portland issue, the whole Chicago issue, the whole National Guard issue, to me, that kind of feels like old news with everything she can talk about this cycle. I mean, they just did sanctions on Russia, I think, yesterday. That's why, by the way, despite Russia being infrequently mentioned, it's trading like it's a bond. It probably is with the sanctions. That's probably because sanctions on Russia are going to come in. Also, war is probably a bond. You know, Biden's kind of always a bond with Caro speeches. I think, by the way, the data I was looking at today for Biden is like in like 100 plus speeches, it's hit like 95% of the time, which says something about the state of our country, that literally in every speech you're talking about the former president. But no commentary there, nothing, any of that. It's just an interesting data point. But yeah, the whole Portland thing seems like old news to me. Someone brought up to Portland Trailblazers, one of the coaches that came out in that whole gambling scandal today. Maybe that's an angle that this gets said. But I will take the gamble here at 30 cents. I think there's some value. National Guard, similar perspective, riding some no shares. Yeah, I like these. I did try to pick up no Chicago. I couldn't. I got priced out. But those would have also been fun. All right, come on, Caroline. How late is she going to be? It's already 18 minutes. Get a nice little post out on this. Energy, no? What did the tariffs relate to on Russia? Was there anything relating to like energy? How we picked every word last night. Last night was a pretty funny one, the NYC debate, because I mean I came out ahead a little bit. I would never recommend as an investment strategy, by the way, guys, trying to pick every single word. Oh, CZ got officially pardoned, child. That's interesting. But I would never recommend as an investment strategy ever trying to pick every word. But we did it for the content of how fun it would be to ride into the debate. My strategy for yesterday's NYC debate, in terms of, yes, I played every word, but if you look at the slip I posted yesterday of all my positions, I played certain words very heavily. I put a lot of emphasis on the first debate, but more specifically, I looked at words that either did or did not come up in the first debate. And I looked at their opening prices in the first debate, compared them to the opening prices in the second debate, and I kind of tried to find value in words that maybe were said in the first debate. So now they're going to be trading at a higher premium in the second debate. Like, is there value there taking the no side? And then the reverse of that, if a word wasn't said in the first debate, maybe a moderator just didn't ask a specific question, would we take the yes side of that? So there's not a lot to go off of for those types of debates in terms of historical transcripts, research. So it is a lot more vibe and feel, intuition heavy. We did take some big positions live during the debate. It was a 90-minute format. So 90 minutes in, after they had not said, I believe the word was inflation, we took 900 shares no, or 800 shares, so about $600 on no inflation at 84 cents live. Yeah, there's nothing like vibes markets, Logan. And then other things we traded were like when they brought up e-bikes yesterday. That was a pointed moderator question yesterday, and they did not respond by saying e-bikes in their responses. So as soon as that question came up and nobody said e-bike and they moved on, I live hammered $500 on no e-bike, because I think if a moderator is asking a pointed direct question about e-bikes and you're not going to bring it up, there's no other instance that I would like expect it more. Make sure we're sped up here. Let me just get my positions out, and then I'm gonna post my positions really quick. Now, Caroline Leavitt is so we're taking illegal alien, no, 250 shares at 15 cents. By the way, guys, I'm going to post a link in here, but for those of you who prefer YouTube, I am now, starting a couple days ago, also streaming to YouTube. Interesting. Who are these people in my... So you can watch this stream on YouTube too, if you didn't know, if the viewing experience is better. But I will not look at comments in YouTube. I need to set that up on my restreamer. Medicare, yes, could be a good thing with the whole Trump RX thing. I mean, that could just be an angle for like drugs, yes, right? Like she hits drugs at an extremely high frequency. like in terms of saying it during a speech. Let me get this. Let's post these positions out. Now, yeah, fair. No funny comments there. It's all about the comments. I want to see the how late will Caroline leave it be? What is that trading at? That's, see, we're getting some derivative markets for Caroline. Like, Caroline is becoming her own meta. Not only can you play what will Caroline say, but you can invest. See, that's the word we gotta use now, invest. That's what we gotta make meta for prediction markets. Not, that would actually, I'm gonna start using that language. That's so funny. I'm gonna say I'm investing into, because that will trigger a lot of people. Will BTC spike up when Trump talks? I have no idea. I am not knowledgeable on crypto. Is crypto like down really bad? I heard people posting about it yesterday. Look at this meta market. She's above 25 minutes late now. Interesting. What is happening? It's back up to 110K now. Good to see. But guys, I am going through some terrible variance this week, okay? We need to see some wins, okay? Yes, I should invest in Bitcoin predictions. That would be fun. It'd be fun to do a co-stream with like a big crypto person. Just throw $1,000 on whatever they think the price of Bitcoin would be. Just invest into it. But look, let's talk about these strikes, all right? So illegal alien. This is on every single Leave It speech, right? Illegal alien going back to August. So we're looking at a sample size of, how many speeches is this? Does this easily display the count? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so looking at a sample size of 8 going back to August. Granted, I could increase this. She has said illegal alien 75% of the time. Yeah, Logan, I've been up like 2 to 3K every week the last 3 weeks, especially with all the new mentions volume. But I got killed this week. Like I said, I'm already down 2.5 grand. Hopefully we bring it back. But illegal aliens hit in 75% the last 8 speeches going back to early August. And I just think there's a lot to talk about. So a flyer on no illegal alien, I got in at 15 cents, guys. So remember that. Don't get in too high. I would definitely not go over 25 cents on no. But I'm playing no Portland. Again, I got here at 28 cents. Yeah, you're trying for 10K a week with Supercharger. Yeah, but Supercharger had the potential to supercharge your portfolio. I think Clay wrote that in Discord. That was so funny. Oh yeah, I invest in Trump word mentions, 100%. I'm a big investor in Trump word mentions. But Portland, no. So Portland is like a newer thing, guys. So this isn't something you can really analyze all these historical transcripts. But last speech, she said it 3 times. Speech before that, she said it 10 times. But that's because the Portland riots, everything with the mayor was all like really big. So now you're talking about, you know, almost a month, really 3 weeks since her last speech. Are they going to still talk about Portland? I don't think so. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't think so. Maybe it's more like 50-50, but if I can get in a no at 30 cents, I think that's plus EV. National Guard's very related because if they bring up Portland, they're going to bring up National Guard. So really, I kind of have 1,300 at risk on like 1,300 shares at least on the same thing. We need a win, guys. Can we get the win here? Or are we going to keep going down the hole? We will see. Let's see if we can get a W leave it speech. This must be the AP. Here's the AP stream. I don't know which is faster. Usually White House is faster. But let me pull up. Let me pull up the YouTube stream. They're opening some doors. Are people coming out? Yeah, I like the no National Guard too. That's why I'm playing it. 84% versus 10%. Wait, the AP stream chat? Like literally in Associated Press's chat? That's actually hilarious. Come on, Caro. What are these? Oh my gosh. Look at all these. It's maxed out. It was a total sweep on how long. I know. I really should have. But she's not usually 30 plus minutes late. Like, what is she doing? I mean, it was perfect for me. I was actually getting lunch with someone. And I told him, I had to explain to them. I said, I have to leave lunch early. He's like, why? I'm like, Caroline Leavitt is about to give a press speech. I have to go live. My life depends on it. I do not have any Kalshi merch, but I'm sure I could get some. Given I'm given I'm living out of a suitcase right now. But you know, I'm keeping my content about actual trading the markets, you know. I'll throw in a little bit of slop content here and there. All right, Caroline, come on. This is getting crazy. Tariff is coming down to, well, it's just one share. Someone's accumulating there. The other one that's interesting to look at. Oh, here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Let's go, Caroline.
I apologize for my tardiness today, so let's get right to it.
Apologize.
We'll begin today with some scheduling announcements for President Trump's upcoming trip to Asia. Tomorrow night at 11 p.m., the president will depart the White House to fly to Malaysia, where he will arrive on Sunday morning local time. It's a long flight. President Trump will participate in a bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister of Malaysia in the afternoon, and then he will attend the ASEAN Leaders Working Dinner that evening. On Monday morning local time, the president will fly to Tokyo. Tuesday morning local time, President Trump will participate in a bilateral meeting with the new Prime Minister of Japan.
This is great.
On
We're going to get a bunch
Wednesday
of
morning
Trump
local
speeches.
time, the president will fly to Busan, where he will participate in a bilateral meeting with the President of the Republic of Korea, deliver keynote remarks at the APEC CEO luncheon, and then participate in a U.S. APEC Leaders Working Dinner. On Thursday morning local time, President Trump will participate in a bilateral meeting with President Xi of the People's Republic of China before departing to return home to Washington, D.C. On Thursday night, upon arrival in Washington, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump will participate in Halloween at the White House, where they will welcome law enforcement, military, and foster families. And I know many of us look forward to that.
Wow.
In other news, we are now on day 23 of the Democrat government shutdown. Senate Democrats have voted 12 separate times now to keep the government closed. Innocent Americans are suffering every day as a result. More than 500,000 civilian federal employees will miss a full paycheck tomorrow. Thousands of small business loans are going unapproved each month. This means almost $4 billion in capital is being withheld from small businesses across the country. The Democrat shutdown is also causing severe impacts at airports across the country. In one single
that's
day
great
this
messaging.
Week,
Democrat
the FAA
government
had
shutdown.
to issue ground stops impacting flights at Houston's George
How
Bush
long is this thing gonna
Intercontinental
go on?
Airport
Really
and
is
Hobby
crazy.
Airport.
Thought this was gonna be
13,000
short,
air traffic
the
controllers
shutdown.
who ensure that we all fly safely are continuing to work without pay. This is egregious and truly sad. Some of them are reportedly being forced to turn to driving for Uber and taking on other second jobs to make ends meet as the Democrats continue to shut down the government. Pilots are calling on Democrats to end this dangerous political game. The president of the Southwest Airlines Pilot Association called for the clean continuing resolution to be passed, saying, quote, "Our air traffic controllers and the broader air traffic system are already operating under immense pressure. A government shutdown only compounds that stress and threatens the efficiency of our skies." The Airline Pilots Association International, which represents more than 80,000 pilots, is sounding the alarm as well. They said this shutdown is undermining our system's safety. Resources are stretched thin,
What is the timing on all these Trump speeches coming up?
Delayed, and strain grows daily. With the Thanksgiving holiday approaching, we are nearing the busiest travel period of the entire year, when millions of Americans will go to airports to spend time with their loved ones. Let us be
that was
very
a low
clear
strike
from the White
yesterday.
House
That was
today.
like 30%.
If the Democrats continue to keep the government closed, we fear there will be significant flight delays, disruptions, and cancellations
Renovation has come
in
down
major
a lot. It's now
airports
at
across
60
the country
cents.
this holiday season. If Democrats continue to shut down the government, they will also be shutting down American air travel. The White House is in constant communication with the air traffic controllers.
I'm gonna add a
with the
window
Airline
for my
Association,
Kalshi screen.
And with them, we urge Democrats to please pass the continuing resolution so we can just end this madness and this chaos and reopen the government. These are very avoidable consequences. The unnecessary pain, unfortunately, does not end there. Funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP, which provides food benefits to low-income families, is beginning to lapse this week in some states. If Democrats continue to hold Americans hostage, there will not be enough funds to provide SNAP benefits for more than 40 million Americans on November 1st. That is next
You're
week.
heavy on no renovation?
Democrats are
There's been so
responsible
much
for all of
talk
this
about
unnecessary pain. Why are they doing it? To give taxpayer
the ballroom. I almost went huge on ballroom, yes. I know people were.
Are violent criminals. During the 4 years of Joe Biden's administration,
There's the Biden hit.
Democrats forced Border Patrol to admit illegal aliens into our country with no legal status and minimal
It's
screening.
always Biden.
A
It's
significant number of
always
these
Biden.
individuals
I
are
will
the
never
worst of
play
the
no
worst
Biden
criminals.
again.
Rapists,
I didn't play it this time.
pedophiles, murderers, and even members of the terrorist watch list. Despite having no legal status,
East
paroled
Wing, yes,
aliens
really.
were able to file for work authorization, receive social security numbers, and access other benefits like Medicaid that are meant for Americans. Since I've found many in this room to repeatedly deny the reality that Democrats gave Medicaid benefits to illegals, and they continue to seek to do just that, I brought
I'm
a
gonna put
few
this up here.
verified examples for you
That way you guys
today.
can see all the
These are
transcripts.
examples of some of the illegals who received Medicaid benefits under
Okay, they're saying
President
illegals.
Biden's leadership, and this is what Democrats are wanting
Legal
to do.
alien already hit.
This is why they are continuing to keep the government
Crushed.
closed. An illegal
No, but we
alien
only
from
had
Laos was arrested
40
for
bucks there.
murder,
That's not
robbery,
even.
and felony possession of
It's not a big
firearm.
position for us.
An illegal alien from Guatemala who was arrested for rape.
They're doing
and
a
burglary.
legit segment on
An
this.
illegal alien from El Salvador who was arrested for strangulation, DUI, and burglary. An illegal
Jeez, they're
alien
really
from Mexico
showing
who was
photos of these
arrested
people?
for
Just
attempted murder.
That's an illegal alien?
Democrats' open border policies allowed these threats into our country, and then they provided them with free health care. The president and the Republicans, through the One Big Beautiful Bill, implemented a common sense reform to end this fraudulent scheme. But that's why
received
the Democrats
Medicaid stamp at the top.
The federal government. They are trying to reverse this and
this is pretty unhinged.
funded health care for
I know
these
that's my grandpa.
Shutdown, Democrats have
I know
said
that guy's like he
Senator
looks
Chuck
just
Schumer,
like
the leader of the
these are
caucus
so
that is
bizarre.
refusing to open the government said, quote, "Every day gets better as the shutdown continues." Ask the air traffic controllers if every day is getting better, Senator Schumer, and they will tell you absolutely not. House Democrat Catherine Clark said, "There are going to be families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility."
So she's
seriously,
hammering
but
government shutdown in the
this is
beginning.
one of the few
Hasn't talked about
levers that we
Israel.
have. Here is a House Democrat who is admitting that they are using Americans who are suffering as political leverage. And Senator
Terrorist
Bernie Sanders
hit
said,
already too.
"If you reopen the government, we lose our leverage." This is pure partisan games. A senior Democrat aide said the party will not end the shutdown, quote,
They're
"short
hammering
of
shutdown.
planes falling out of the sky." That is truly a disturbing statement. The Democrats clearly don't care about this suffering. They care about playing political games against President Trump, and this dangerous charade needs to end. President and Republicans' position has been clear and unchanged. Pass a clean, nonpartisan funding bill to reopen the government. And then we can talk about all of the partisan issues that the Democrats wish to. If you're watching at home, we urge you to call your Democrat senators and tell them to put our country over their party and reopen the government today. Here in our new media seat, we have Brittany Gibson of Axios. Brittany, why don't you start us off for our Q&A today? Thank you for being here.
All right, let's see what we're doing on Q&A.
First is, we understand that the president and Republicans will not negotiate on ACA extensions until the government reopens. If and when that happens, what does the president think should be, or what are his plans for preventing rising healthcare costs for Americans?
It's a very good question, and I'll leave that to the president to negotiate that when Democrats vote to reopen the government. When it comes to lowering healthcare costs, the president is deeply committed
A lot of
to
focus
this.
on
It's
shutdown
why he
here.
has spent so much time and effort negotiating with Big Pharma to lower the healthcare costs of prescription drugs. All of
Drug
you have
hit.
been in the Oval Office for
Yeah, I should have
multiple
played.
different
Oh,
announcements
boost feed
about
volume.
these most favored
All right.
nations deals with these large pharmaceutical companies committing to lowering drug costs in this country. So
Here,
it's something the
let me
president
boost
wants
this.
to do. And Brittany, one more point. I'll just point out the irony in Democrats holding the government
How
and
is
the
that,
American
guys?
public hostage
Can you hear that
over
better?
a healthcare system
She's
that they
just kind of
created.
quiet.
The
but-
healthcare system
or is
was
that
called
too loud?
Obamacare. Why? Because Democrats and President Obama implemented. And Republicans have always said it's a broken system, yes, but they caused it, and now they want to shut down the government to fix it. We need to open the government, and then we can have these very important conversations about healthcare.
Second, on H-1Bs and foreign students, during the campaign,
H-1Bs,
President Trump
foreign
said
students.
he wanted to make it easier for foreign students to work at U.S. companies, staple a green card to every diploma. But the changes from several agencies now on H-1Bs are adding more obstacles to that. The administration is being sued over those changes. Can you explain the changes in the president's thinking on H-1Bs?
Administration will fight these lawsuits in court. The president's main priority has always been to put American workers first, and also to strengthen our visa system. We know for far too long the H-1B visa system has been spammed with fraud, basically, and that's driven down American wages. So the president wants to refine this system, which is part of the
Please
reason
no
he
Portland
implemented,
and National Guard
these new
questions.
policies. These actions are lawful, they are
I
necessary,
like that this
and
is
we'll
focused
continue
on the
to fight this battle
shutdown.
in court. Garrett.
Two questions on different topics, if you'll
Sure.
indulge me. On the pardon of Chang Zheng Zhao, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing that name.
CZ
Binance
pardon.
has significant business interests with World Liberty Financial, the president's family's
Interesting.
crypto company. How do you respond to the allegations from Democrats that this is a corrupt act?
Wasn't someone
I would
accumulating a
respond
big
and say the
position on
president is
CZ early?
exercising his constitutional authority to grant clemency requests, and the president
I gotta
and the
get
White
in on
House
some of those
have a
crazy
very
markets.
thorough examination of every pardon request that comes to the president's desk. It is thoroughly reviewed by the White House Counsel Office, and I spoke with our great White House counsel about the pardon after it happened. This was an overly prosecuted
think it was
case by the
CZ?
Biden
Yeah, I'm sure.
administration. Even the judge in the case admitted that the Biden administration was pursuing a egregious over-sentencing of this individual, And the previous administration was very hostile to the cryptocurrency industry. So the president wants to correct this overreach of the Biden administration's misjustice, and he exercised his constitutional authority to do so. And to the Democrats, I would just say there's nothing more corrupt than what President Biden did on his way out the door, pardoning his extremely corrupt son and many of his associates.
On the ballroom, the first of which you'll probably
Ballroom, here it is.
I imagine.
It's the reason this was 90 cents.
Is it a big story?
It seems that way.
Oh,
The
she's trying to go
cost
against
estimate has
Ballroom.
changed several times. I think it's up to $300 million now. Given the nature of all this, will the White House commit to
Look at the
releasing
Ballroom
all
order
of the
book. It
donors
is
and
like
how much they're spending
completely.
and how much of his own money the president is putting on the line to this?
We have released the full list of donors thus far. Perhaps there will be more people who want to generously contribute to this project. And the president, yes, has committed his own resources. And when he releases that information, which I'm very confident he will, you will all see that.
We'll see a dollar figure from the president?
Yes,
Okay.
he will. And I would also just add the president has been incredibly transparent. I would reject any notion otherwise. when it
Haven't
comes to this
seen Ballroom
project.
hit.
It's
Oh, there it
something
is.
he
Somebody had
personally
me advanced.
Has obviously
We
taken
lost
an interest
$5.
into and has talked with all of you in this room
But
many times
we were taking a
about.
long
You have
shot.
Seen the model in the
case
Oval Office.
she somehow
Last night
dodged
he showed
it.
that for you, but when this plan was presented and when these renderings,
not
as
upset
soon
about
as they
that.
were complete, the president directed me to come out here and to share them with all of you. I did an entire opening remarks.
What do we think about
what this
these other
Ballroom project
strikes?
was going to look
East
like.
Wing,
With any
like-
construction project, there are changes over time as you assess what the project is going to look like, and we'll continue to keep you apprised of all of those changes. But just trust the process. This is going to be a magnificent addition to the White House for many years to come, and it's not costing the taxpayers anything. The president is privately funding.
Yeah,
this
she said Ballroom
addition to the White House grounds.
multiple times.
Jennifer.
Man, though, if
Follow
you're
up on
playing
that. One
East
thing
Wing
that's not
or
in the
these
president's
other
model
ones.
is the East Wing bunker,
here's-
the President's Emergency Operations Center.
here's East
Can
Wing.
you say if his update, that $300 million, does that include the cost for upgrading that bunker?
Look, like
Yeah,
any
crypto should have been a
security
s- oh.
enhancements that are made on the White House grounds, those will be made
Well,
and maintained
cryptocurrency
by
doesn't
the
count for
Secret
crypto.
Service.
Wow.
As for the cost of the ballroom and the construction
That's
itself, all of
crazy.
that is going to be, like I've said, privately funded and paid for by the president himself and many generous
What a
patriots who have
strike.
stepped up.
Included in that funding, correct?
Jumped
Okay,
all
and
the
then,
way up to
can you
90,
say,
crashed.
Well, that's right. I'll skip that one.
Thanks. We just. Okay.
So the White House has explained that the reason
But
he
maybe
didn't submit construction
they'll
plans
ask again
to
about
the
CZ.
NCPC is because that commission, along with others, don't have oversight over demolitions, but only over construction. And so far, you haven't built anything. So can you help us understand, can the president tear down anything he wants without oversight? Could he demolish this building or say the Jefferson Memorial?
So it's not the president who came up with that legal opinion
No
himself.
at 2
That's
cents
a legal
on
opinion
crypto?
that's been
Dang.
held by the NCPC for many years. It's written, so we can get you that background and that
See.
research if you wish to include it in your reporting because it is very important.
See
They
if
have
anyone
ruled
wants to
consistently. Their general counsel has said
buy
when it
my,
comes to phase one of this project, the tearing down
Portland
of
shares.
the current East Wing structure, a submission is not required legally for that. Only for vertical construction will a
immediately
submission
get
be required, and that's a legal opinion from them, and we are following that legal opinion. And
Undercut.
again, I would just add, can any president do such a thing to the White House grounds? There have been
Wow.
many presidents in the past.
The guy
who have
behind the
made their
perfect
mark
short
on this
against
beautiful White House
BTC
complex.
also had
This
shares on
briefing room,
CZ
as you
getting
all know,
pardoned.
was not
That's
once a
what
briefing
C
room, it
Wing
was a
Sung
swimming
is
pool.
saying.
There
That
have
is
been
crazy.
presidents who have completely torn down the executive mansion. If you look at what President Truman did, some of the photos of the construction project that took place in those years, I think sitting here today, we're all grateful for those efforts and the modifications that happened
Let's
at
make
that
sure
time.
we're as
And
fast as
again, in
possible.
due
Oh,
time,
she's
the
saying
East Wing is
modifications.
going
Has
to
she
be
already
more
said
beautiful and
renovation?
modern than ever
No.
before. And in addition, there will be a big, beautiful ballroom that can hold big parties and state visits for generations to come.
So it sounds like the answer is yes, he can tear down whatever he wants. And then secondly, I mean,
That's not what we're saying. That's a legal opinion that's been held for many years. And
interpreting it.
no, it's something that presidents
Tarring?
have done for years and
What's
years. In
tarring?
fact, I have some photos here. Thank you, Pat. to show you the construction that's taken place on the White House
Oh,
grounds.
tariff.
This is the construction of the West
I
Wing
tried to get in on
1902.
no tariff.
Look at this, the construction
what
of
did
the
I get,
West
82
Terrace
shares?
in 1902.
Oh,
These
tariffs.
images look quite similar to what you
Wow.
and the American people are seeing today.
How
the
does that
construction of
resolve?
the East Terrace. as
Oh,
well.
terrace, terrace.
Look at the
She's saying
construction of the
terrace,
West
not
Wing
terrace.
expansion in 1934. So, look, this
Let's
is
see,
a
can
legal
I
opinion that's been
accumulate
held for many
some,
years. Look at this is 1950.
Oh my
It
gosh.
looks a
Those are
lot
the
like what you were
constructions.
seeing today.
Can he demolish anything he wants
What do you
without
think that
oversight?
rubble is? How did that rubble get there?
Right, so I'm
Demolition.
asking,
Reagan.
and then back to the donors.
Go ahead, Reagan.
Many of them are,
Two
Reagan,
questions
go
for you,
ahead.
one on immigration and another on Venezuela. It's being
Ooh,
reported
Venezuela.
that the semi-truck driver suspected of killing 3 people in a DUI crash is an illegal immigrant who came in under the Biden administration. Do you know if California gave him a commercial driver's license? And then it also appears that California largely has not been cooperating with English proficiency standards. I'm wondering if the administration has any further plans to punish the state.
Yes, I can confirm that California.
You can
gave
punish
this
California
individual
now. I'm
license,
not there anymore.
And it is something that the Department of Transportation has already looked into. I know Secretary Duffy, who's doing a phenomenal job, has spoken on this many times in the crackdown that the Department of Transportation is taking on these licenses that are wrongfully being issued to people who clearly do not deserve to uphold these positions. As for this case in California, on October 22nd, ICE lodged an immigration detainer
ICE.
for this individual
ICE hit.
following his arrest by local authorities in California on charges, as you know, of manslaughter while intoxicated in
Let's stay
driving
on
under the
California.
influence. He
Don't
killed 3
pivot
people,
to
and he
Portland
first
and
entered the
National
United
Guard.
States in 2022 through the southern border, and he was released into our country by the previous
Still no talks
administration.
about the Russia
So now
sanctions.
ICE has lodged
Wow.
a separate detainer for this individual.
Russia
and
was
these
trading too
tragedies
high.
are following a disturbing pattern of these criminal illegal aliens being issued commercial vehicle licenses. And so, yes, the Department of Transportation is absolutely
What's
cracking
Russia
down
at
on that.
now?
I defer you to them for any specifics.
Venezuela,
Sure.
President Trump has said Maduro doesn't want to mess with the United States, and this
You would
administration
think this is like a
continuing
big
to
topic
position
to bring up.
more military
Is
assets.
she really not gonna talk
towards
about Russia
Venezuela.
sanctions?
I'm wondering if the end goal of this narco-terrorist war
fact
is
it
to
wasn't
implement
mentioned
a
in opening
regime change
remarks?
in Venezuela.
The president has spoken on that, Reagan, and I certainly won't get ahead of him. What we've made very clear is that this administration is not going to tolerate international narco-terrorist organizations from trafficking drugs into the United States. And these cartels over time have grown more armed, well-organized, and violent. They have financial means, sophistication,
She's
and
been
capabilities
speaking
needed to operate in the way this administration
somewhere
has.
around-
And they have illegally
let's see.
caused the deaths of tens of thousands of American citizens each year. So that's where we are right now
About
with respect
18
to Venezuela,
18 to
but
19
also any
minutes.
country that is sending purposefully illegal narco-terrorists to the United States of America to bring illegal drugs. Why don't we go in the back?
The U.S. and Colombia relationship right now is
Colombia.
at one of its lowest points in decades. We heard what President Gustavo Petro had to say about President Trump. We heard yesterday the response from President Trump. Is there any kind of compromises or gestures from the Colombian president that President Trump would like to see in order to de-escalate the tensions? Is it possible a de-escalation?
I don't think we're seeing de-escalation from the unhinged leader of Colombia right
unhinged?
now.
Is
And
she
I don't
gonna
think
say
the president,
lunatic?
frankly, is interested in that at this point. He spoke on this yesterday, and
Average
I don't have anything
runtime?
to add to
Probably
his comments.
35,
Go ahead.
40
Yes.
minutes.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you,
In addition to the
Carolina.
ballroom and the
No,
Rose
I'm
Garden,
going
Go
to
back to
the back.
ballroom.
Sorry.
Let's go back
in
to
addition
ballroom.
to the ballroom and the Rose Garden
Stay
patio,
on
is the
ballroom.
president looking at any
How
other
are they
renovations
asking
or
so much about
significant
this?
kind of projects here at
Oh,
the
this
White
might be
House?
renovation hit.
Not to my knowledge, no. But he's a builder at heart, clearly.
Is this
and
renovation?
So his heart
Someone
and
just
his mind
bonded
is
it
always
at
churning about how
67.
to improve things here on the White House grounds. But at this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
Wow.
Kristen.
Renovation Dodge. Somebody bought in at 67.
Announced that he had a productive call with Vladimir Putin. They scheduled a meeting.
Okay, here's
Monday.
Russia. Here's gonna
Since
be
then,
Russia.
He has canceled the meeting.
Wow,
and he has
renovation's
imposed
gonna be a
sanctions
big
on
no.
Russian oil
It's gonna be a
companies. Can you
surprise. It's
talk
got
about
up to
what changed
almost
that
100
led to this
before
dramatic
debate,
shift?
95.
What occurred in the last week that got us from point A to point B?
Sure. Look, the president.
What are you holding,
has
Gustavo?
always
How many
maintained
shares? What
that
price?
He would implement sanctions on Russia when he felt it was appropriate and necessary.
So there's the Russia
And
mention
yesterday
for the
was that
sanctions.
day.
Very
I think the
expected.
president has also long expressed his frustration with Vladimir Putin and, frankly, both sides of this war. And he's always said, in order to negotiate a good peace deal, both sides need to be
Is
interested
Ukraine-
in a
if
good
Ukraine
peace deal.
is
And
not
he
hit
feels
here,
as though,
be
unfortunately,
interesting.
from the Russian side as of late, he has not seen enough interest and enough action in terms of moving the ball forward towards peace. And so a meeting between these two leaders is not completely off the table. I think the president and the entire administration hopes that one day that can happen again. But we want to make sure that there's a tangible, positive outcome out of that meeting, and that it's a good use of the president's time. Of course, he's traveling to Asia next week. He has a number of events coming up here on the home front as well. He's been incredibly busy, as you all know. You're all tired from covering him and his movements every day. And so we want to make sure it's a good use of the president's time, and the president doesn't want to waste his time, and he said that.
All between the Secretary of State and Lavrov that led President Trump to believe that President Putin or the Russians did not want a peace deal.
That was not the sole reason, no. I think the Secretary Rubio felt that was actually a productive call. But again,
I like these
the president
topics.
wants to make sure that a meeting
Let's
between
stay on these Russia
himself
topics,
and,
ballroom
President Putin
topics.
will be a good use of his time.
What exactly led to President Trump not believing after his call on Thursday, where he said he did think he wanted peace and wanted a peace deal, to believing that Russians were not?
Again, the president wants to see action, not just talk. And I think the president is
Yeah,
extremely
Antifa No is
motivated by the
interesting, too.
success of his peace deal in the Middle East to get things done. And he wants this war to come to an end. He's been saying it now for 9 months.
Peace in the
being
Middle
office,
East.
and he's grown increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress from both sides of this war. Mary.
For example.
Two quick construction questions, if I can. You mentioned any construction project comes with changes. The president had initially said that this project wouldn't interfere with or touch the current structure. Now he says to do this properly, he realized that the East Wing had to be demolished. This is the people's house.
I love these
Why not
questions.
inform the public of that change and when it was decided
Keep
that the
talking
East
about
Wing would have to be demolished?
East Wing
Look,
and all this
again,
stuff.
with any construction project, changes come, and we have informed all of you. We've been keeping you apprised of this project. We've shown you the renderings, and if you look at the renderings, it's very clear the
I
East
love
Wing
these
was going to be
topics.
modernized.
Just focus
Instead-
on this
in
bullshit,
fact, I said
not my
that
strikes.
in the briefing when we initially introduced this
I
plan
don't
to
know
all
why
of
people
you
are so
and to the
obsessed with the
public.
ballroom, but
The
like
East-
it was all
the-
over social media. I didn't
well,
know if
again,
they would
the
actually.
president, the plans changed when the
center on
president
it.
heard counsel from the architects and the
It's such a
construction
stupid
companies
thing.
who said that in order for this East Wing to be modern and beautiful for many, many years to come, for it to be a truly strong and stable structure, this phase one that we're now in was necessary. And the president wants to do right by the people's house. And so that's exactly what he's doing. It's going to be, again, like I said, much more stable, strong, secure, and more beautiful than ever once it's complete.
And the First Lady's offices, where will those be? The First Lady's offices, the Social Secretary's office?
In the East Wing.
They will be back where they were?
Yes.
Thank you. Cattle ranchers who supported the president's election.
It's a cattle rancher question. Argentina.
Support those farmers.
This
The
is going to be
president hears
tariff.
those concerns. He addressed
Could
them
be tariff.
yesterday himself. President loves our ranchers, and our ranchers love our president. And in fact, the president did a lot for them in his first term here. They are struggling because of the many horrible policies of the previous administration. President loves our ranchers, and he also loves American consumers, and he wants to do right by both. So the immediate solution to the problem of the rising cost of beef,
All right, good
President
ride,
wants to bring
Alex.
that down, is we have to increase our supply.
get this
And so
bread.
that's what he's doing with respect to these imports. The president also is looking out for our ranchers with a long-term
Bitcoin up
plan
1K
that was
since she
released by
started talking.
the Secretary of Agriculture yesterday.
I gotta get
It's
into
a
crypto,
three-part
man.
plan. It's very extensive and detailed. I would encourage all of you to read through it. But there's really 3 points to this plan that the president has
I did get a
agreed
nice
upon and
airdrop
has
yesterday
entrusted,
for
Secretary
$2,000.
Rollins to implement. Number
Maybe I should
one,
use that for
strengthening U.S.
crypto.
cattle production through increased grazing access, endangered species reforms, enhanced disaster relief, increased access to capital, and reducing costs for new and young ranchers. We want to incentivize more Americans to get into this noble profession. Lowering long-term costs by cutting inspection costs, increasing market options for
Wow,
consumers
no
with Product
tariff?
of USA labeling, and ensuring consumers know that they are eating American beef. It's a good incentive for the American consumer. And lastly, growing the domestic herd while boosting long-term demand to
We
reduce
need a
prices
beef
for
mention.
consumers while growing the markets for our ranchers. So President hears them. He has to address both of these problems for the
I mean,
ranchers,
it's
but
whack,
also
but
for the
it's
American
how the
consumer.
strikes
He
work. Like, there's
promised to
no
lower
debate.
costs, and that's what
It's
he's committed to
unfortunate
doing.
though, because obviously
Thank
people would
you.
think
Two
that
questions
it
not
would
on the
count.
ballroom. The first is there's a Democrat in Texas who's actually running for Congress who said last night
Okay,
during an
these are
interview when talking about fighting
pretty
Republicans
safe questions,
and
I
this
think.
administration, quote, "If you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck." This has obviously really upset those folks over at Turning Point USA after the Charlie Kirk assassination. Which is your response to
I
that
don't
kind of
like
rhetoric?
this
Very
question.
jarring rhetoric. And I think it's
Can I
very
maybe
unacceptable. I
sell
hope the people of Texas
some
will
of
do the
my
right
Portland?
thing
Is anyone-
and reject this person's candidacy. It should have no place in American politics.
And then just a quick second question on oversight Democrats that are saying that they're creating this master ICE tracker, basically tracking all ICE activity. We've seen the protests in New York just yesterday.
Don't talk about
Homeland
protests.
Security
Stop.
is saying that this sounds
Stop.
like obstruction of justice.
Stop talking about protests.
What do you say?
Again, this is actively putting the lives of our ICE agents at risk. We've seen media outlets, in fact, in this room, also write stories about ICE tracker apps that Democrats
Just
and other
give it a
left-wing
brief answer,
activists have
Caroline.
created to track the location of ICE agents on the ground in our communities.
Could
Again,
be an
I've said this
Antifa mention,
repeatedly, and I
too.
will continue to say it. The men and women of ICE are outstanding people. I wish a Democrat on Capitol Hill would actually have the courage or the guts
Yeah,
to
probably
stand up
like
to
10
the
minutes
party
longer. We'll
and
see.
sit down with some of these men and women who are doing
Just
this incredibly
skip over
difficult
this
job
question.
of
Okay,
enforcing
finish
our
it,
federal
Caroline.
immigration
Don't
laws.
say anything.
They are, again, simply trying to enforce the law and do their jobs. And if Democrats spent a little bit more time understanding that and also focusing on the people who they are trying to get out of our country every single day. As I spoke about earlier, 3 innocent people in California are dead because an illegal alien who Democrats let into this country was wrongfully issued a trucker's driving license and clearly was not fit for the job because he was driving intoxicated and killed 3 innocent people. Democrats should focus a little bit more on that. Stop trying to fight this president and this administration on every turn and restore law and order. That's all that
Good
we and
answer.
these brave men and women of ICE are trying to do. Mary.
Thanks, Caroline. I have 2 questions, one on San Francisco and one on the No Kings protesters. On San
Stop
Francisco,
talking about
the
protesters,
president said that he
dude.
had a call with the mayor and he was planning on surging there, but now because the mayor really wants to fix it up himself, they're going to do that.
Stop
Is this
talking
what Trump
about
hopes happens
protesters.
in pretty much every city?
The president hopes, and I've said this so many times, and I
Like,
think
what are these-
the president's conversation with the San Francisco mayor last night and his statement today prove the president is willing to work with anyone across the aisle, across the
Stop
country, to
talking
do
about
the right
protests.
thing
Just
and
move
clean
on.
up America's cities. He is genuinely interested in this effort to make our streets safer, to make our cities safe and clean again.
What can they
and
flip
he
to
heard
next?
from the mayor last night who told him that he is going to earnestly
Just
try
switch away
to
from
make
this.
his city better on his own. The president
even are
heard him
these
out. He said,
topics?
okay, I'll give you a chance. We'll be watching, and if you need us, we are here. And if I feel as though
No. White House stream, what's going on? No!
you continue
Okay.
to kill your citizens, the federal
What was
government
that? I
may
gotta
have to
speed
step
up.
in. But we'll continue to watch San Francisco, and that law enforcement operation has now been paused.
Okay.
And then on the No Kings protesters, I saw videos of people
No
explicitly
Kings
calling for violence
protesters.
against Stephen Miller, against the president, shirts saying we don't have enough assassins, calling for
Stop
more political
talking about
violence. Does the president
protests.
want to see arrests here, and are we
These
going
are
to see
such
arrests of these
stupid
types
questions,
of explicit
like,
false
just-
I would think myself, the president, and everyone here at the White House certainly hopes that anyone who's making
like, who are these
violent and
people? Are
illegal
they
threats in
paid
that way against
by
public
that
officials will be
to
arrested
say
and
just-
prosecuted.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. 2 questions. Will the president support the Senate ending the legislative
Okay,
filibuster?
good.
to
Yes, go
end
back
shutdown?
to
This
shutdown.
is something I haven't heard the president talk
go
about
to
much, so I don't
shutdown.
want to speak on him for it. I'll let him answer that question himself.
And do you have an update on the NASA administrator nominee?
Good
Do you plan
NASA
to nominate
question.
anyone
Perfect.
soon?
Totally fair game.
Nominate anyone? Sorry.
I'll leave that to the president himself.
I know,
He'll make a
seriously.
decision in due time, and when he does, you will hear directly from him as you always do. Back, we'll give our friends in the back a chance. Yes.
As you mentioned at the top of the briefing, USDA has warned
Good,
that
USDA.
we'll run out of funds.
Great
to pay
question. I love
full
it.
SNAP benefits
I love
next
it.
month if the shutdown continues.
This is
Senator
acceptable.
Hawley is
I
voting
approve
a
this
bill
question.
that would
Good job,
ensure
reporter.
SNAP benefits are continued to pay during the shutdown. Would the president support such a move? And you
Yeah,
also
seriously,
announced
Caroline,
that
just-
the administration was using tariff revenue to keep
Oh,
WIC
tariff.
going during the
Shoot.
shutdown.
I
How
did have a
long will
little bit
that
on
last?
tariff. This is-
And is anything similar
Tariff
being
might be
considered for
cooked.
SNAP?
Yes, the administration would absolutely support that legislation. We hope that it would come over the finish line, but the bill
we
that will
survive
get
tariff
everyone
here,
paid
that would
and
be
put
a
everyone back to
legend.
work is the clean continuing resolution. That's what the president and Republicans want to see.
Good dodge, Caroline.
Ed,
No
go ahead, Ed.
tariff.
Thanks, Caroline. On the Russian sanctions again, how
Oh,
much
Russia
pressure
question.
do you
I love
think
it.
the
Wrap
sanctions
this up,
to Russian
Caroline.
companies actually puts on President Putin? Because the last administration sanctioned 2 other oil companies. So how much economic pressure is this really?
A lot. If you read the sanctions and look at them, they're pretty hefty. And I saw some international news out of China this morning that they're scaling back. oil purchases from Russia. We know India has done the same at the request of the president. The president has also pushed European countries, our allies, to please stop their purchases of Russian oil
Please
as well.
stop
So,
purchasing Russian
it's full
oil,
court press
allies.
for sure, and we expect that these sanctions are going to do harm, as the Secretary of Treasury said yesterday.
There be more. Is this just the first step, or could there be more sanctions?
I'll leave that
Good.
to the
Stay on
president to
sanctions.
decide.
This is a great topic.
Sure.
Or heard the NBA gambling.
Oh,
the
shoot.
gambling issue
Don't
there.
say
Does the
Portland
president gamble? What
Trailblazers.
do you think
Don't
about
say Portland Trailblazer
You know,
coach.
I'm
Don't
not
say
sure. I
Portland
don't think he
Trailblazer
does.
coach.
I've been with him quite some time, and I have not seen him gamble before. I don't think he's a big gambler, but you can ask him yourself for next time you have a chance to, Ed.
Good dodge.
that? Carolyn, I've got two
Hi,
quick
Jake,
questions.
and then we'll go to you. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Two quick questions. Back to the ballroom. It is a very
Good.
spectacular
Ballroom?
ballroom according
Safe?
to the
This
renderings.
is safe?
And if it's half as nice as the one at Mar-a-Lago, then future presidents are really going to appreciate it.
They will. Thank you, Jake. for
First of all,
saying such.
Wow.
is there like an official name? Like, are we calling it the Trump Ballroom, or does the president have a vision for what the name for the ballroom is going to be?
There
Who
will
is
be
Jake?
an official name. I will let the president announce that once he.
I want to
firmly
bring one
decides
of
on
these
it.
reporters on.
Question is, looking at these renderings, and it kind of got me thinking. He's likely going to go down as the greatest builder of this era, and you've been in on a lot
Greatest
of those
builder.
meetings with him. Has, to your knowledge, has the subject of
Greatest builder of
rebuilding
our
the
era.
Holy
I love
Temple in
it.
Jerusalem come up?
It has not. No. It has not. I don't.
No on Hamas. They haven't really asked an Israel question yet.
On the CZ pardon, could this clear the way for Binance to resume
Oh,
US
CZ. We could see crypto coming
I won't
back.
get ahead of that. That's something for Treasury or the Departments of Commerce to comment on, so you're welcome to ask them.
And then one follow-up question. Any more details on the president's Walter Reed visit? The readout from his doctor mentioned advanced imaging. What procedure was he referring to?
Advanced imaging is something that presidents receive and people receive when they go to the doctor. And so we provide a detailed readout of that physical, and I would encourage you back to that. Presidents and I don't know the exact imaging that took place, but as the physician's note said, the president is in incredibly good shape, and I think that's evidenced here every single day. Danny.
Thanks, Caroline. Back to the ballroom, I'm afraid. I just wanted to ask, because in July, the White House said that it would cost $200 million. Yesterday, the president said $300 million.
These ballroom questions. This is like
$300
half
million
of the
operative
Caroline
figure,
speech.
and why
Just
did it go up
freaking
by so
ballroom.
much?
300 million is the figure, and again, it's not going to cost the taxpayers a dime. So we look forward to this project
Beast
continuing,
answer,
and we will continue to
Caroline.
keep everyone apprised on it.
My
Perhaps the president will
queen.
even bring you all
Caroline
out to
is
see
my
it one
queen.
day at the appropriate time. You're also going to hear from the president directly in about an hour. He's hosting an event with the Homeland Security Task Force. This was a newly created
Live
federal
traded some
task
no
force that the president
Antifa.
and his law enforcement team have put together.
I'll hold
I
off
would
on no
encourage you all to
Chicago.
tune into the remarks. They have really done a
She
tremendous
wrapping
job
up?
at
Is she wrapping
refocusing
up?
how
She might
federal
be
law
wrapping up.
enforcement and local law enforcement work
Get
together.
ready,
There will be
guys.
some local sheriffs and law enforcement officials in attendance as
It
well.
looks like
and
she's
they'll be
holding
talking
stuff
about
ready
the
to pick it
success
up and be like,
and the many
goodbye.
arrests they have made of drug traffickers and cartel members all across the
think she's-
country by just simply working
I think this
together.
might be
so
it.
we will see you at the event. Thank you.
Boom. I should have. Okay. I'm not playing no crypto Bitcoin. That's gonna be debated. Stupid question. Boom. We ball. That is such a W. Leave it speech. Holy shit. We just cleaned up. This is what I needed. Holy shit, did I clean up on that Leave It speech. I should have even gone bigger. Let's go. What a Leave It speech. This is what I needed, guys. We had a terrible start to this week, but we are so freaking back. Oh, can we please get more Caroline Leave It speeches going on? Because this is like legendary. Profit? I think I broke 1,000 on this speech. I hit everything except I did have a small, it says 983. It says 983. I think it's going to go up actually. Oh, wait, wait. Let me just take this one off. Which thing in OBS is this? Window. Here. Okay, let me take that off. I think we will have cleared $1,000 on this speech once all is said and done. Showing 983 right now. but you know, they have to adjust some of the final prices. The only thing I lost on, by the way, of what I got in pre-market was Illegal Alien. I did like $35, $40. But we had 460 shares of no National Guard at 1/3 because I didn't think they would bring it up again. So that's about a $300 profit there on 120 investment. Yo, Foster, we cooked on this Leave It speech. Let's go. I'm so back. We had almost 1,000 shares of no Portland. That's about a $700 or just $650 print right there. Yes, I did. You could see her like pick it up. I should have bonded more no's when I got to the wrapping up, but I hesitated a second. Then I saw the order book get eaten. So I picked up a little bit live. Like you can see here, I got some of these at 97. So that's like a free $25. Sorry. Like $30 we got live. Did you eat, Foster, on that live outro? But yeah, to summarize, guys, yeah, I got some Antifa Note 55. I think we'll clear 1,000 here once this is adjusted. Come on, refresh here. I have to break 1,000. 983 is so much less cool than 1,000. Is there liquidity in that market? Like decent enough? Oh, I guess I really did just do 983. It still looks like it. All right. So we profited $1,000 on this Leave It speech. We took no Illegal Alien for $40. I lost there. But again, it was a long shot. Main ones, we had no National Guard, 34 cents, almost 500 shares. So that was about a $300 profit on a $150 investment. Big one here, Portland, no. I loved this strike. I tried to size up even bigger than this, but we got almost 1,000 shares at 28 cents. So that's like a $670 profit. Live traded some Antifa, no. Made about 20 there. We live traded some of these towards the end of the speech. No Lunatic, another $25. That is W Leave It speech. Let's go, guys. Hopefully you guys did well also. This was like so focused on the ballroom, but I'm pumped. I needed that. Now let's see what other mentions are going to be coming up. I got to lock in. Closing soon. What will Trump say during the announcement? When is Trump's announcement? October 23rd. I got to see what time this is going to be. But we'll be live for some more mentions today.